You know him from The Rising. You know him from his podcast. I got to get his podcast name right. I don't want to fuck up the podcast name. But you know him from The Rising, and you know him from the Realignment podcast. This is Saager and Jetty. I'm telling you, you can watch all this stuff on YouTube. He went the YouTube model with his host, Crystal, and they're literally the only news source I trust. And he's an absolutely fucking great dude, and he's bringing truth to power. And hopefully he answers the Zoom call right now. Are we on?
I see his cute ass.
Okay, there it is.
Looking like a young Republican. What's up, yo?
I know. He looks like Clark Kent. So we have Saager and Jetty here, man. Yo, Saager, first of all, I love what you guys do. Go check out Saager's show, The Rising. You can check it out daily. And you guys do what is it exactly? You do a full-length show and chop it up into clips?
Yeah, basically. We do like a 2-hour show and it gets chopped into clips.
Okay, great. I absolutely love it. It's my source of news. And just to break down what it is, you skew conservative and Crystal skews liberal. But you don't hate each other. You call out your own politics. You call out the other side. And you have a very fruitful conversation about, what is happening in the world today, right? Without like name calling, etc. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's what we try to do. And I think, if there's a core innovation like to what we do, it's that we're willing to call out our own side. We're about to talk about the Trump tax story. You're not going to go on Fox and you're going to hear anybody who's on the right tell you the truth about what's in the story.
Okay,
right? And
so
it's important.
Break it down for us. What is happening? What's going on with the Trump story? Like, what was your initial reactions? We were texting a little bit earlier. Is he not paying? Okay, is he doing anything illegal? That's number one.
As far as we know, no.
Okay. Is he doing anything that we should look down upon?
Oh yeah, 100%. But this is my thing, right? Which is, yeah, we should look down upon it. But if you want to look down upon Trump and what he's done here, which I 100% do, then you want to look down on every billionaire in America. I don't think most people want to have that conversation. Hold on. Are we looking down upon him for avoiding taxes? Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, in a way, he's only doing what, people like him wrote the laws to do.
Exactly.
So
but that's also heroic. Like if I don't know if you're familiar with our podcast here, but the people on this podcast, we all support people who find ways to pay less taxes. Okay?
100%.
100%. Akaash, can you speak on that?
Yeah, Saager, you get it. You're Indian. We will never pay anything we're supposed to pay ever. Everything is a haggle, and my dick gets kind of hard thinking about cheating taxes. Quite frankly.
So Akaash supports it. I support the idea of it's not necessarily cheating the taxes because he's not doing anything illegal. He's taking advantage of these loopholes that people like him created in the tax code. Yeah. Right? So is it a little bit hypocritical that there are these politicians calling him out, which at the same time have been lobbied to create these very loopholes within the tax code?
That's exactly it, man. Which is that, look, I don't want to hear it from Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer.
Yes.
They literally said, so Schumer, Pelosi, and Joe Biden all said that one of the first things they're going to do is bring back the SALT tax deduction, which you New Yorkers are probably pissed off about. The state and local tax deduction, which only benefits people who are millionaires in New York City and in San Francisco.
What is the SALT
tax deduction? What is that?
It's called state and local taxes. So it used to be that you guys, because you have crazy taxes up there in New York City, could deduct the amount that you guys pay in your state and local taxes from your federal tax income burden. That was repealed by Trump in the Trump tax bill. One of the few good things actually in that tax bill.
This does not sound good to me at all. I think we're on the opposite sides of taxation within this conversation right now.
For you, it's bad. For society, it's good, my man.
Yeah. We didn't come to America to care about society, Saager, right? Like, everybody left their families to come here for selfish reasons so they could take care of themselves, hoard the wealth, baby.
Yeah, also SALT tax, Saager, is how India got its independence. That's where we said this is the last fucking straw. You're not going to take our spices and salts from us. us.
Is that
That's
true?
what we marching for. Gandhi marched like 50 miles over this shit. How dare you,
sandals,
Saager?
bro?
How dare you support this?
Come on.
Yo, my great grandmother was in that salt march. Just
What?
to be
You
clear,
need to come
that
join us,
salt
yo.
march,
Fuck a
I
salt tax.
100% support.
Wait a minute. Was she really in that salt march?
Yeah, she was in it.
You know for a fact that she was there, or you fake news?
Yeah, it's
bro?
like a proud history legacy, man.
Yeah, but I'm sure everybody was like, "Yo, I was there." Like, I'm sure lots of black
Maybe
people.
my grandfather lied to me. I don't know.
Say again.
Like, she died before I got to talk.
Look, my grandfather said that he was at the game where Babe Ruth pointed and hit the home run. And my dad was like, "No, you weren't, you fucking loser." But that's what people back in the day did before cameras. You just said you were there. Like, imagine living in Selma and being black and like not being at that march. Of course, you're gonna tell people, "No, I was in the back." Like, you're gonna say that, right?
Yeah, you have to say it. You have to. Maybe you're right. I don't know.
We should look into your great grandma, dude.
Yeah, I'd be happy. I'll send you an Ancestry.com thing, whatever.
I don't know. I bet she was.
We
probably
be taking long ass walks after heavy meals, so probably she just cooked up some heavy ass like rotis and mad butter in the chicken, and they were like, "We just gotta take a walk, yo. Until we stop feeling full."
Bullshitter. Akash, what chicken bullshit are you talking about? This is 100%
Butter
pure
chicken, yo.
vegetarian family.
Oh, he said he's 100% pure vegetarian. He's calling you out your meats, bro.
Yo, my cast is allowed to eat meat, so I'm looking down on you with your
Oh,
bum
he
ass.
just outcasted you,
Your bum ass
Saager. Are
accountant
you getting
cast or whatever, yo.
Hey, listen, this is a Brahmin family, so I don't really care.
Oh,
Wait a
Brahmin.
minute. Wait a minute.
Princely class.
Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. A real Brahmin would know how to say Brahmin. All right?
Should I bring my little string out? All right, I should be wearing it.
You don't even know the name, Republican ass. I'm sold out. Sold out, got the hair and everything. Boy, they got you, Saager. They got you.
No, he's trying to tax us all.
Yeah, yo, I'm not into
Yeah, I
it.
am.
No, listen. What do you mean? How? I thought you're supposed to be
what kind of
conservative.
Republican is
Republicans
this?
were supposed to be anti-tax. No big gov.
Yeah, dude, this is what my whole show is about. Fuck that. Like, I don't agree with that.
So what's conservative about you?
I should have never brought you on this shit, man. What the fuck?
I like this guy. I like this.
Vast majority, 52% of Republican voters actually support a wealth tax. The whole reason Trump won is because he ran against all these other goobers who are spouting this anti-tax bullshit. They're like, oh, we need lower taxes. Oh, that's all we need. Deficits, all this other stuff. Vast majority of Americans want to see rich people pay more taxes, and they want better public services. That's it.
Hey, that's
He's
just
kind of making sense. He's kind of
nah,
making
but that's
sense.
just because the vast majority of Americans ain't rich. They
Oh,
just
that's a
want
good
other
point,
people to
too.
pay taxes.
No, that's a good point,
Let me
too.
ask you this, Saager. Actual question, not trying to pick a bone or whatever, or joke around. What makes you conservative if you're in favor of higher taxes? What am I missing?
Personally, what makes you?
That's to presume. Look, what's personally conservative about me? I think like family's good. I think we should have more family. I think people should have more kids. I think people should have more flexibility. I mean, I think religious people should be able to be religious. Like, and I know that sounds, most people on the left are like, I don't disagree with any of that. But like, yeah, you know, on an elite level in terms of policy, like some of the things that people do, you know, disagree with those things. So that's what makes me conservative.
So you want to take my money so you can have a big family is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, basically. Yes.
I
That's my
see.
politics.
I see. Yeah. I see where we're at. Okay.
That's some Brahmin ass shit trying
That
to
is
take
some
your money, yo.
Brahmin ass
Taxing
shit, isn't
everybody.
it?
Yo, come on, Saager. Come back.
That's my politics, man.
Come on, yo.
Okay, so what I did read about when I was reading this thing up about Trump, right, was that the big story here might not really be the lack of taxes paid. It might be the debt that he has. So apparently he has like up to like $400 million in various debts, right? And people are going, well, if there's a president of a country that's in debt to certain financial institutions, how can we be so sure that he isn't going to do things that benefit those financial institutions to possibly alleviate that debt, or, you know, maybe they don't bump interest rates, or just to have good favor? So so is there any validity to that?
I think it's a fair point. I like this is what I want to be clear here. Look, like the president of the United States owing $400 million to anybody is bad. The president like not paying his taxes and, you know, acting like every other billionaire, I think that's bad.
Is that a real?
Man,
sorry to interrupt. Is that a real $400 million, or is that I don't want to pay taxes $400 million?
So it is a real 400 million from what I can tell. So like I said, this is clear, which is a lot of people are using Andrew's point. And they're like, oh my God, he could be owned by Russia. He could be owned by, no, man, look, it's public record. It's literally out there in the financial disclosure. I actually sent it to Andrew. If you guys can throw it up on the screen. I don't know if you have it.
I'll send it to Alex.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But like it's actually, look at it. Look, it's mostly Deutsche Bank and some other real estate financial holding companies. And you can go through and you can look. Those are majority U.S. controlled people. But again, I don't want to excuse this stuff. Like, I don't think it is a good thing that the president owes all this money to people. Do I think he could be like blackmailed by a foreign entity because of it? No, that's bullshit. And so I just think we need to be very like clear here about what exactly is happening.
Right. And do you think it's possible that they would call in those loans? Because that's what the catastrophists are doing right now. They're going, what if these debtors call in their loans? How is he going to pay it off? Well, doesn't he, not to defend Trump, but like, doesn't he have assets? I imagine a couple of those buildings that his name's on, he probably owns, right?
Yes, dude. I mean, he owns a Boeing 757. Like, he owns real estate all over the world.
That's a dope way to pay off your debt.
If they called in the loans, like, I think he'll be fine. Like, he probably could pay $400 million. It might leave him strapped with cash, but like, yes, he owns more than $400 million in assets.
So the real story here, which everybody's missing, is rich people get to skip out on taxes.
Yeah.
And we're hyper-focused on Trump because obviously he's a lightning rod, but maybe we should be focused on the tax code and trying to find ways to make it more, I guess, fair for the average person.
Yeah. I mean, check this. So the Federal Reserve actually came out with a chart today.
You see how we're bringing a hood out of Saager? He said, check this. He said, yo, check this. Let's go. You can't talk like down the rising.
Loosen up that tie, baby.
Bro.
Loosen up that tie. We doing it.
I see you hit one of these, bro. Let's do it. Okay, go. Let me check it. What are we checking?
Start going like this. All right.
No.
I'm into it.
Federal Reserve came out today. Bottom 50% of Americans own almost no wealth. And the rest of the data shows 79% of wealth in the United States is owned by either millionaires or billionaires. So that's 80%. 80% of wealth by millionaires and billionaires. That's only 11% of the country. 11%. Okay? So let's think about that. I mean, does it make sense for 80% of the wealth to be concentrated in the top 11% of the country? And who are the people that the politicians listen to? I mean, this is what we talk about on our show, which is that, like we said, these are the people who write the laws. There are whole buildings here in D.C. who are built to lobby specifically for what Trump gets away with by not paying taxes, which is real estate deductions. These are some of the most powerful people in Washington because, and I was kind of explaining this to you because it can seem complicated, but it's actually simple. Which is real estate developer buys a piece of property for $100 million. Then he doesn't want to pay taxes. So he gets somebody to assess the building for $90 million and then can write off $10 million in deductions for years and years and years in the future, even though he never lost any real income. Let's say if the building gets more expensive because he upgraded it, you can write off your investment costs. Either way, you don't pay any money.
Yeah. So
this is the key thing to understand here.
Yeah. So just to clarify what you're talking about depreciation. And I think a lot of people were tweeting about it. Like, and this applies to anything. This applies to like the equipment in this studio right here.
Yeah.
Right. So I think what happens is they say that equipment lasts for 5 years. Right? So you can essentially write off 1/5 of the cost of the equipment per year for 5 years. You can actually write it off in the first year if you want. But they're basically saying, yo, the equipment's getting worse and it's going to get older and it actually doesn't hold the same value that you bought it.
The appraisal thing was interesting to me also because I never heard that before.
So with the building, for example, if you have a building and you bought it for $100 million and then next year they're like, yeah, but look, the bathrooms are all old and all this stuff is worn down. It's worth $90 million. That $10 million, you get to write off that loss, if you will, in the value of the asset. So what's really interesting is you write off the loss, but then you put $10 million in to make up for that loss of your own money, and you get to write off the investment that you're putting in.
Now you're writing off $20 million.
Exactly.
So basically what they do is
you're probably raising the rent because you improved the building and you're going to tell your tenants, hey, look what we did to the building, more rent. So you're just making money both ways.
The name of the game, I guess, is how do I prove that everything I have is losing as much money as I'm making? And then you come out to zero. And as long as you're at zero, you maintain all the wealth that's within the asset.
You're describing the business model of Amazon. This is Amazon, right? They don't pay any taxes. You know why?
Break it down.
Because, so look, this is how corporations do it, not just people. This is why we got to have a whole conversation. Amazon has this thing called Amazon Web Services. Most people don't even know this. They think Amazon is a retail company. No, it's a server company. Vast majority of its income. So what it does is it takes this money printing machine, Amazon Web Services, and then invests it and covers losses. That's how they're able to sell you. You know, go on Amazon, you see like Amazon Basics products, and it's always cheaper than whatever the competitor is.
Yeah.
That's not because they know how to make it cheaper or they send it cheaper. They can just take the loss because it's being subsidized by another part of the company.
Right.
And that way, they never technically have profit because they're always investing their money into other areas. But what does that mean? That means that they can kill all of their competitors. So they never pay any taxes, but somehow Jeff Bezos is worth what? Fucking $200 billion?
Yeah.
How does that happen? Like that, this is what we have to understand here,
So
which is that it's all a scam.
I went on I did a tour once of Europe, right? And I didn't look at the contracts as well as I should have because I never like reading any of the shit. I just looked at the number at the bottom and I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to make. I'll be good, right? This is actually the tour where Alexx got arrested. Alexx is our video producer over here. And so it ended up being very costly outside of that. Well done, Alexx. And don't go to Sweden, Saager, okay? They're rough on the Browns. Okay.
I don't know if we would last there, huh?
I don't think so, dude.
No.
I don't think so. So, what class are you again? Cast are you?
Rajput.
Yeah. Would you sell him down the river, dude? Would you be like, take the Rajput?
Meat eater. One of those meat eaters.
He absolutely would. Yeah, I don't trust him.
So I'm there, and at the end of the tour, I'm looking at the money that I made, and I had like some shows like in London that like really sold out, and then we did some shows in like Sweden that didn't sell that many tickets. And the shows in London, we just kept adding shows, and it was crazy. And I looked at what we made in Sweden, and I was like, all right, we didn't make that much money, but like that's on the promoter of the gig. I guess he lost money on that gig. You know, it is what it is. And then I looked at the overall contract, and I realized that the gigs were cross-collateralized, which is what Amazon does essentially to protect themselves, right? So they were like, hey, if we don't meet a certain amount of money in Sweden, we're going to take it from the London shows. Right? And that's what these companies are doing to allow themselves to grow is they don't even have to profit. As long as they got one thing that's making money, they just write off those losses. It's like what a lot of, I think, sports team owners do too. Yeah. It's like the sports team.
NFL, same way.
NFL, they might lose money or the team might lose money, but they have a real estate business or they have some other business, a restaurant business, and they'll write off the losses in their sports team versus the gains that they make in whatever.
And that's why I don't believe when NBA owners are like, we lose $200 million a year supporting the team. It's like, I know you show that you lost $200 million to pay less taxes. I don't think you actually lost $200 million. But
you never believe it.
My question to you, Saager, is what would be your tax solution? Because it feels like any wealth tax you create, they're going to find a way out of it, and then everybody else is going to pick up the bill.
Great question too, man, which is I'm not necessarily in favor of wealth tax. Like whenever people say wealth tax, like I think what they're saying is billionaires should pay more taxes. I've done a lot of research into this. Basically, as far as you can see, a wealth tax would probably I wouldn't say it's unfair, but it would just discourage. I mean, look, like maybe this is my conservative part of me, but like we still have a lot of fucking billionaires for a reason, right? Like people do create awesome companies here in the United States. Like you don't necessarily want to discourage that. What you want and what I want is balance. Like I think it's crazy for the top 50% to own nothing, especially people who are younger, you know, like probably listening to this podcast are like 30 years old, have literally no chance at accumulating any wealth whatsoever. So I actually think it comes mostly from the financial industry. Everything you need, every dollar you need is sitting right on Wall Street in hedge fund transactions and so many of the different things that these guys get away with, 1,000x profit, all of that. It's not a mystery. Like it's sitting right there. Like these guys are able to make record-setting profits every single year by depreciating their stuff and moving around their assets, and the amount of money that is interchanging. You can tax financial transactions, you could raise $1 billion. Here's another one. We're talking about taxes. This is a study that came out actually from the National Bureau of Economic Research, just in case anybody wants to start checking me. And it says that you could raise $1 trillion in revenue with a 1/7 size investment on IRS, just tax enforcement. So that's not even a new tax. That's just enforcing tax laws that we have on the books right now. So there you go. Like $1 trillion. That's a lot of money. That's more than the entire military budget. So this is the easier things I'm trying to think about.
Saager, those all sound great, but how much would we make if we just bought Greenland?
I mean, Greenland is priceless, man. You can't even put a number on it, right?
I think that's the solution, to be honest with you.
Look, I love Greenland, so we should buy it.
Dude, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much for clearing this up. You sound like an undercover Bernie, bro. I just want to say, I know that
Please, no. They always tell me that. It's not true.
It's
they
not
look
true.
At my positions on immigration and everything, then they get mad.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
Wait, tell me. What is the...
Oh, God, dude, you're going to make me... No, we don't have to go down. I mean, we can. That's fine. But, look, I mean...
I want to know. Do you wish that your great-grandma...
Actually, this is an old-school Bernie position, so they really shouldn't be mad at me.
Okay.
You know, you go back and you look at what Bernie Sanders saying in 2015...
And what you're saying in 2020...
He was like, open borders is a Koch brothers proposal or something. And then all of a sudden, Democratic Party and the elite media shifts one way, and now Bernie's all for open borders. So, I mean, some people are getting mad that I said that. He's effectively for open borders, even though the guy used to understand that depresses a lot of Americans' wages.
Okay, now, last question. This is very important to a lot of our listeners, so answer carefully. Okay? Kashmir.
You know what it is, yo. You don't have to think twice about this, Saager. You know what the fuck it is, yo.
Saager.
You're right. I already know what it is.
You know what the fuck it is,
I didn't even hear a question.
What is it? Now, Saager, Pakistan or India, bro?
Look, my position can be summed up in 2 words.
Okay.
Fuck Pakistan.
Our resident political expert. This is the most flagrant motherfucker in news.
I say that as both as an American citizen and as a person of Indian descent.
Hey, man, I only care about that second one, yo. That's what's up. Stay true.
Oh, God. Yo, Saager, we love you, man. Tell them where they can find you one more time.
That's right. It's Realignment Podcast or on Rising over at The Hill on YouTube, Saager on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you guys for having me, and congrats on the Patreon thing.
Hey, appreciate you.
And for real, I'm telling you, Saager, you do these great, what do you call them?
Monologues.
Okay, so he does these, but you call them it's called a...
Oh, my radar.
Yeah, his radar. So, and you do it daily, and it's great. It's a deep dive onto a single subject, and he was really nuanced and really researched, and I get a lot of information from them, and I think you guys should check it out. Literally, it's one of those things where even today I went for it before I texted you. I YouTubed to see if you did it on the Trump tax thing today. Are you there?
Nah, he left.
I'm glad, dude. I'm glad that you guys can talk about it.
No.
It's important.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is I'll often look to you as a resource for information. So I'll be like, let me see if...
you cut out there. So
it's all good. I'll be like, let me see if Saager did a radar on this thing, and I'll get some information with it. So make sure you go check it out. We'll throw a link in the description. But thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Jai Hind, though.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Peace.